You wake up tired, not the kind of tired that sleep fixes, the kind that lives in your bones. You check your phone, and there are 3 messages from people who need something: a friend venting, a family member asking for advice, a coworker wondering if you can cover their shift. And before you've even gotten out of bed, something in you already feels depleted. If that sounds familiar, if you're the person people lean on, the one who holds space, the one who feels everything, then what I'm about to walk you through might explain why you've been running on empty for longer than you can remember. Because here's what nobody tells empaths: you don't just get tired from doing too much, you get tired from being too much for everyone else while disappearing for yourself. So stay with me for the next few minutes. I'm going to show you 7 signs that your energy is leaking, not as judgments, not as failures, but as signals. Your body trying to tell you something you've been too busy to hear. And here's my promise: one of these signs will explain why you feel exhausted, even on days when nothing dramatic happened. And near the end, I'll give you one question you can ask yourself tonight that will show you exactly where your energy is going. Let's reframe the question. Not why am I so tired? A better question is, where am I giving my energy without consent? Because your nervous system doesn't drain randomly. It drains when it's working overtime. And if you're an empath, your system has probably been working double shifts for years. Sign 1. You feel drained after helping someone even when it went well. You have a conversation, you listen, you support, you help them feel better. They leave lighter, you leave heavier, and you tell yourself, that's just how it works. That's the cost of caring. But here's what's actually happening. You're not just listening, you're absorbing. Your nervous system is taking on their emotional state, holding it, processing it, trying to regulate it for them. Now, a tiny check-in, don't think, just notice. After you talk to someone who's struggling, where do you feel it in your body? Does your chest tighten? Does your stomach clench? Do your shoulders carry weight that wasn't there before? If yes, that's not empathy, that's enmeshment, and your body is paying the bill. Sign 2. You can't stop thinking about other people's problems. You're trying to focus on your own life, your own tasks, your own needs, but your mind keeps drifting back to what they said, back to what they're going through, back to what you could do to help. You replay conversations, you plan solutions, you worry about outcomes that aren't yours to control. Let me give you a quick scene. You're lying in bed, you should be sleeping. But you're thinking about your friend's relationship, your sister's job stress, your coworker's anxiety. You're running scenarios, imagining conversations, trying to figure out how to fix things that aren't your responsibility to fix. And you're not doing this because you're nosy. You're doing it because your nervous system never learned where you end and other people begin. So their problems become your problems. Their pain becomes your pain. And your energy, the energy you need for your own life, is being spent on lives you can't actually live for them. Sign 3. You say yes when your body is screaming no. Someone asks for your time, your attention, your help. And before you've even checked in with yourself, you hear your voice say, sure, no problem. Then you hang up and your stomach drops because you didn't want to say yes, but you couldn't access the no. This isn't about being nice. No. This is about a nervous system that learned saying no meant rejection, conflict, or abandonment. So your system chooses depletion over risk every single time. And here's the cost. Every yes that should have been a no is energy you don't get back. It's your life force being spent on borrowed time. Sign 4, you feel responsible for other people's emotions. Someone is upset, and you feel like it's your job to fix it. Someone is angry, and you feel like you caused it. Someone is disappointed, and you feel like you failed them. You walk into a room and you immediately scan. Who's off? Who needs soothing? Who needs managing? And you adjust yourself accordingly. You become smaller, softer, easier. You become what they need you to be so they can stay regulated. But here's the question that changes everything. Who's regulating you? Because while you're busy being the emotional thermostat for everyone around you, Your own system is overheating. And nobody notices, not because they don't care, because you've trained them not to look. Sign 5, you need excessive downtime to feel normal. You spend 2 hours at a social event and you need 2 days to recover. You have one difficult conversation and you're wrecked for the afternoon. You go to the grocery store and you come home needing to lie in the dark. And people say things like, "You're so antisocial," or "You just need to get out more." But they don't understand. You're not avoiding life. You're recovering from it. Because when you're an empath, without boundaries, every interaction is a transaction, and you're always the one paying. Sign 6, you feel guilty when you rest. You finally give yourself permission to do nothing, to cancel plans, to lie down, to just be. And immediately, the voice starts. You're being lazy. People need you. You should be doing something productive. So you rest, but you don't actually recover, because your nervous system is still working, still monitoring, still feeling guilty for having needs. Here's a truth that might land hard. If rest feels like a luxury you have to earn, you've been taught that your worth is tied to your output. And that belief is draining you faster than any actual work ever could. Sign 7, you don't recognize yourself anymore. There's a stranger looking back, not because you've changed physically, because the person you see doesn't match the person you feel like inside. You used to have interests, passions, desires. You used to know what you liked, what you wanted, what made you feel alive. But somewhere along the way, you became a mirror for everyone else. And now you can't remember what your own reflection is supposed to look like. So what do we do with this? How do you stop the leak without shutting down completely? Here's the question I promised you. Tonight, before you sleep, ask yourself this. If I gave myself the same energy I gave to others today, what would change? Don't answer with your mind. Let your body answer. Notice what comes up. Notice where you feel it. Because the truth is, you're not running out of energy. You're giving it away to people who didn't ask for it, to problems that aren't yours, to a version of yourself that was never supposed to carry this much. And the path back isn't about doing more. It's about releasing the belief that your worth is measured by how much you can hold for others while holding nothing for yourself. You're not losing your energy. You're spending it in places it was never meant to go. And the moment you start redirecting even a fraction of that energy back to yourself, everything shifts. Not all at once, not dramatically, but your body will remember what it feels like to be yours again. And that's not selfish. That's survival. The empaths who last, who don't burn out, who stay open without depleting, they're not the ones who give the most. They're the ones who learned finally that they deserve to receive their own care first.